All right. Wait, let's give it like 5 seconds. Alright, take 2. So I don't know, I just hit the biggest high roll in door I think I ever have, and like I just wanted to stream it, well, record it. I might post it later, but yeah, let's like, so I got flow, so that's 160% crit rate and then damage dealt by 240%, and then when you lose lucid it's gone. We got damage cannot be triggered anymore, but buffs are 200% effective, so that doubles this to 320 and 480. A bunch of attack buffs, liberation for Shang Liao. Basic attacks gave us more energy, more crit damage for whoever defeats an enemy. Current max HP for all team members is doubled, but fixed after. This is the big one. Every 1% crit rate above 100, no matter what, is more crit damage. Dealing damage increased duration by 1 second. This one I was not sure if I'd get this or not, but yeah. Casting intro skill, 2 more seconds. Every time I deal damage, I get 25% more HP and lose HP, but it's fixed. 20% attack speed, more attack, and crit rate. Probably go through them all later. And this is a electro one, and I got the 50% crit rate, so like my carries are basically above 100 all the time, and it's insane. So I thought about this one. Lucid Dream becomes permanent, but your resonator's attack will never exceed 200. But I have so many attack buffs and duration buffs for Lucid Dream, I think it's too late. This one is you take more damage, which I don't really want, and I have enough damage percent, so I'm going with this one. So I just keep introing, and then that should also increase it. Alright. The last mob, it had 3 waves, and Phoebe just demolished it by herself. It was so funny. Like, I can just do this, and then I just need the carnival to happen, and oh, okay. That one was closer. I need to ult multiple times. Actually, there's gonna be a restroom. Okay, I need to like not use Phoebe for a bit. Their attack is increased in HP. That would be fine. When no power buffs are triggered for 4 seconds, energy regen is doubled. Dreamscape power buffs. Is it a power buff? Power, yeah, okay. So if it's not triggered, it gives us more. For 4 seconds, I think we triggered it too fast. Active resonator deals damage, they deal more and take more second to... It's just this then. I just take more attack. That's the other reason, because there's so many attack buffs, I didn't want to get rid of it. Okay, attack buff it is. Dreaming or combat? Honestly, I'm gonna do combat. Oh, I don't think I've done this room yet. Damn. And boom. I don't want to use Phoebe because I might lose her before the final fight. This thing is tankier than I thought. Okay, Phoebe is healed a lot. Wow. Oh shit, it's still timed. Now she can come out. Like, this just eviscerates everything. Okay. When in Lucid Dream oh, I love this one so much. It has to be this one. You just keep introing. I already have that. I don't want to consume HP. Yep, it's just this one. 100%. Oh, this is such a high roll. Current attack is double, but that one's not bad, actually. There's no way I get to 4,000 no matter what I do. 6,000 for her. Duration, no. Deals damage, take more damage. No, it's this. Alright, well. I guess the attack buffs are useful then, because I doubles them. I just don't get the healing the healing set. It is fine. Actually, that's pretty good, because she's at 2,000, she goes to 4,000. Yeah, okay, I like that. Alright, that's what it is. Wait, what is her stats right now? Jeez, 1,334! No way! What's this is insane. Holy shit. Yeah, no, it's current is doubled. Okay, it was so worth not going for that one. Okay, we're at the rest one. Not that it matters, but okay. I have, oh god, I don't have a lot of time. Okay. Nope, don't consume. Hitting gives more. When the active resonator deals damage, restore. Oh yes. Oh, we're in. We're so in. This is so easy now. Dealing a critical hit. Perfect. Okay, so that's good. Boosted status becomes permanent. Nope, I don't want that anymore. It's too late for that. Too late for that. Don't need. Resonance skill. No, don't need. Don't need. Wow, there's actually nothing I can get here, huh? I definitely get this one. Yeah, I don't think any of this matters anymore. I don't really want to risk this one. Yeah, I think this is it. All right, let me do a quick showcase real quick. No. Okay, so we have flow, we have double your buffs, attack, liberation, 50 on basic, more crit damage for crit rate, HP is doubled, fixed, double your excess crit rate, longer duration and flow, intra skill increases, attack goes up, HP goes down, attack speed, attack percent, crit rate, concerto energy, attack goes up, HP goes down, intra skill increases damage dealt in attack, double attack, heal off 4% lost HP, and dealing critical hit. Increases. Alright. Sorry, I didn't see the chat because it's basically a recording. I'll respond though. I did get Zani. She had pity on me. Literally. What was it? It was 70 pity to lose 50-50 to fucking calcium. And then she had pity on me and came home at 18 on guarantee. I sadly do not have space for PGR, so I cannot play PGR even though I want to get that. So yeah, I am a Zani hover. But I've heard really good things about the PGR stuff. But yeah, alright. Let's do this. In we go. Never mind. That wasn't the last. Really? This is kind of stupid. Oh, I love the intro one with him. Okay, I mean, none of this actually matters, though. By 20%, so it... What is that? That's 8 seconds? So it goes to 8 seconds, but I can increase it? I don't need that, though. I have to just take this blank one. Alright. Okay. Going in. Oh, it's Sentry. Oh, bring it fucking on. Why do you start in flying mode, though? Why do you hate me? Alright. Oh my god. Boom. Oh, I love this so much. Oh, that looks sick. Oh, that was so cool. God, I love Door. When it hits, it hits. Like, look at this shit. Alright. Yeah, that's the Door event. I wanted to record it. So, hopefully that was fun. I kind of wish I'd started from the beginning. I might do that for next Door event. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed it. I will be, so for chat, I will be streaming Wuwa later, like in a few hours. I just needed to finish this before reset. Let's see, what is going on? I just figured it'd be funny to have the Twitch on as well. Do you get done with soon? If you get done to virtual first pull, you get another one for... Oh, that's cool. 30% off every pull. Does he not main turbo be a story with him? That's really cool, actually. I've heard they did justice to the kit, so that's what I'm pretty happy about. And considering PGR is like... PGR and Wuwa both were kind of inspired by Devil May Cry. Makes sense. Okay. Boom. Door done. Okay. So, alright. Let's get everything. Boom. Okay, door is complete. Pretty satisfied. I mean, it's not gonna be next week, so I guess sure, why not? I don't have space on my PC. That's what it is. Let's see, wasn't there one of these that needed door to be finished? This one, yes. Yeah, I use NVIDIA for basically everything, but even when I had it installed, it was pretty tight. Like, I just don't have the disposable space at this point. I mean, I have a terabyte, it's still full. From like a bunch of stream stuff, to like games, to like a lot of other stuff that I need to have on my computer. So I use NVIDIA, which means I just don't have to use any of the storage. I just need good internet. Which is what I'm doing right now. I feel like 500 gigabytes is too small now. Honestly, I could start stream now. Let's see. What am I doing on stream? I could start stream now if like people are here. Give me like... I would need to restart stream. Just so that this VOD is its own thing, because I want to edit this and then put this up as its own video. And I could... I don't have a thumbnail or anything yet though, because I was planning to do it in a few hours. It's 5. Yeah, okay. I can start. I would have to end this stream and then start in an hour maybe. But yeah, I could start now. I need to stream at some point today anyways. I want to do a lot of upgrades. But after reset would be good as well. Yeah, GeForce now. Like, I don't think I'm pulling for anything. At best it'd be like one of these. I don't need these. Ah, yeah, cool. Somebody's angry. Why so angry? Just say you haven't been loved before, why don't you? Sorry, let me just deal with that real quick. Alright. That's taken care of. Yeah. I think a bunch of people do GeForce, but the thing is you do have to pay for it to get like the 6-hour stream, so it is there, but yeah. I think it's a really good compromise for being able to stream a lot of games easily. Because, like, if let's say a Wuwa event drops, I don't have to worry about my hard drive, I don't have to worry about patches, I can keep my hard drive for videos. And it's very useful. Like, I literally just load up the game and I just play. So, it's been very useful in that sense. Yeah, but I mean, like, I've only hit 6 hours a few times, and even the 6 hours, it's a 6-hour lockout, but you can start again immediately. Like, you don't have like a queue or line or anything. If it's too busy, yeah, you have a queue, but it's like 5 minutes. So like, I've done like 9-hour streams on NVIDIA. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And I can get way better performance because my computer's fans have been broken for a while, so I would not be able to stream and play these heavy games without it. So, I can't pull. I wanted to pull the weapon, but like, I literally cannot pull the weapon. I don't have the spare pulls for it. Anyways, I need to get like a proper description and, why do I keep coming back here? I need to get a proper description and thumbnail, but after that, I can, definitely, start streaming again, like, for realsies. This is an unlisted stream on YouTube, so... yeah. Anything else you're wondering? I'll start streaming again, immediately. Oh god, everything. I basically have not streamed off GeForce in a long time. Wuwa, Overwatch, Genshin, technically Star Rail, ZZZ, Apex, blanking on the rest. I think those are all the ones I've streamed, but there's a ton. Like, I was gonna stream Grand Blue, Relink on here. I just haven't had the time. But yeah, no, I use it extensively. It is well worth my money because I would not be able to play even half of these games. Even if I had the hard drive space, my fans are not there. I highly recommend it if you're near a data center, if it works for you. My friend is not near a data center, so it didn't work for them, so that sucks. But if you're in like most of the main cities or places like in NA, should be fine usually. Also, here's Zani. Hello world. How much money do I have in this game right now? 196. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have 1060. Like this, like, I can show you actually. Oh, there's a reset. Happy reset. Wait, activate a resident. What? Wait, I activated a beat. Wait, what? Did we get a new region? Wait, does this count as a new beacon? Oh. Huh. Alright then. What's the element this time? Ooh, oh, I'm gonna have fun with this. Glacio is always so funny. Liberation. Oh yeah, I could do a lot with this. I'll probably do Carlotta, Jaja, and Yoo-hoo. Anyways, yeah, I can show you the stats I'm playing at. This one, yeah. So the resolution is auto set just to how they stream it. 60 FPS. Pretty much high everything. Everything's on. DLSS. Can't do ray tracing in the plan I'm in, but I don't really care about ray tracing. I think that's it for like the actual. Can I do ray tracing? I need to check my plan. I forget if I can do ray tracing. If I can, I might turn it on. Daily. Use the fire. Okay, I'm not go sure. You know what? I'll just do daily. Just to see how much pulls I have. But yeah, the only caveat is you do need good internet, which is some places are better than others. I was using it on what was my old internet? It was 18 down, 6 up, and I was able to stream and have GeForce running at the same time. So, in my opinion, it's pretty easy to do, but if your internet is shaky or if it's not consistent, then you just lose access to the game, so it's not good. But I currently have, like, I think 300 down, 300 up, so it's way easier now. I don't know how I streamed on the old internet, but it's so much easier now. That was GeForce's resolution. Mine is 1080. So it'll, like, it puts it at, like, 1300 for their system, but then they, like, expanded basically to 1080. So my actual in settings resolution is 1080 by 1920. But to make it easier on their resources, they put it down and then they bring it up when they're streaming it to you. And I have not seen a difference. I played it when it was installed on my hard drive, And honestly, I have not. I don't think AI upscale. I think it's quite literally just like pulling it up. I don't know. I haven't seen any artifacts, and it was before they like started doing all the AI upscaling stuff. But it might be. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's one. Either way, like whatever system they use, it works for me. That's all I could say. Okay, so I think for the stream I'm gonna be doing a bunch of upgrades. So I'll probably start getting nodes. Hopefully I have enough resources for said nodes. Oh shit, I took too many artifacts. I was supposed to save some for... I guess I have cubes, it's fine. Yeah, so I'm doing nodes, and then I'll do more of the daily, because I do want to do the QB stuff, because these are so cute. I can just like work through them. Oh no! I didn't realize this. Okay, I'm like actually streaming now. I need to like make this an actual post and proper stream with all the doodads. I believe it's 15. In terms of subscriptions, it's like on the pricier side, but it's also for me, it's so they've made a change. It doesn't apply to me, so it's still worth it for me. But when I when I started using it, it's basically unlimited. 6-hour sessions, but you can play as much as you want, as many days as you want, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Recently, they put a cap. But the cap doesn't matter until, I think 2 years from now, so I'll have to think about it 2 years from now, but for now, it's still unlimited for me. A new member will still have that cap per month, but the cap was pretty generous for most people. For me, it wouldn't work, but, yeah. So 15 unlimited, I can just play any game, I can keep swapping games, it doesn't matter. Wow, Clover, you do more damage than I thought, even though I know I upgraded you recently. Depends on the game. Oh, I did the wrong one. That's fine. It worked. Oh, wait. Oh, I fought the wrong thing. I'm stupid. Okay. It's down there, right. Wow. Alright then. Okay, so sorry, let me look at the question real quick. Don't have to download updates, but do you have to wait for the game to load or it starts instantly? Depends on the game. Genshin is instant. Like, I get in sometimes faster than people who are patching it, even with a pre-patch, because I get to skip the in-game patch. Wuwa, usually the first day takes a while, because Wuwa has like a different patching structure. It's been like that for a while. So, ooh, I'm close, actually. I'm almost at 80. But yeah, Wuwa's different. I believe so. Wuwa patches would end at 10, and I think this patch it went till like 1 or 2 a.m. But then after that, there's no patch. It can just play it. So it's like 1 day of every patch. Trying to think, what other games? Overwatch is instant. Star Rail is usually instant. What else do I play on this? Wuwa, Genshin, Overwatch are the main ones. Rivals was instant. I think it was either instant or 1 hour. Yeah, so like most games they try to go for instant. I don't know if they have they work with the company or not, but they try and make it like an instant you're in when the patch is up. But it depends on how long it takes your systems. Wuwa's just got its own patching scheme that makes it hard to do it instantly. So you gotta wait like a few hours, but it's not that bad. Like I genuinely just, if I'm up, I'll wait for it. If I'm not, I'll just go to sleep and wake up the next day and it's good. I think the only time that's been a problem is what's it called? Star Rail had like a weird thing where like for 2 patches it was just down, and they like couldn't fix it because of something on their end. So that was the only time I think I've ever had a problem with GeForce. Yeah, I think that's the only time. I think there was like one time where like Wuwa was down for like a day because of some kind of a patching issue. Genshin I've never had problems with. It's basically never down. Overwatch same thing, Rival same thing. There's both. So there's a PC app. I use the PC app. It's just very convenient. There is a browser. You can play it in browser, which is how people do it on Linux, and I don't know if Mac has an app, but maybe Mac. But it's like Discord browser. Like it's there, it works, it's just not as integrated. But if you use the PC app, it just feels like you're playing the game. Like I basically have no issues whatsoever. Also, like, it does have like some other features, like you can it'll make like a screenshot folder and you can just take screenshots whenever you feel like it. There are filters you could put on it, visual filters, so you can, if a game is like too unsaturated, like Wuwa used to be a bit more unsaturated before they had the new color sliders, you can just use a filter to bring it up. It doesn't have any performance hit basically, and you just get better colors. I definitely say so. It has a free plan. No, I don't have any stock. I don't fucking play with that. I don't have the money for stocks anyways, but I don't play with that. No, I was gonna say I'm also not sponsored. I guess I should have said that. I'm not sponsored by anyone ever, so if that's important. No, I was gonna say I will say, so they have a free plan. The first week you sign up, they'll put you on basically the premium track. So you get to try premium for a week. You don't have any lines, anything. And you'll just be in the game immediately, so you can see how it works. You can fiddle with the settings. I did have to fiddle with some of the network settings. So I kind of like went to their competitive mode, saw what all the settings were, and then I went to custom and did those settings, and then did a little bit more of the visual settings. So what am I looking for? This. Okay. So yeah, you can fiddle with it a bit, see if there's a server near you, whatever, and you can basically just you can basically just play on it. And if you don't like it in the week, or if it doesn't work for you, you can just not use it. But you can also just use it free. So I know my friend does Overwatch purely on NVIDIA, and so what they do is they do it on free. So what it is like you go into a queue, you see maybe 2 ads, and then in 5 minutes you're in the game, you get an hour, and then you get another ad break, you get an hour, you get another ad break, and they kind of hold your session unless you don't immediately replay. So it works for them. I think you could even stream with it. You could just like literally have an ad break built into your stream, which like most streams do anyways. So I just got in very early and got a really good deal, so I'm on the premium one, and I do like having the 6-hour time frame. There's like a more expensive one where you just have unlimited and you have like full 4K ray tracing, like 120 FPS stream. Like there's like it goes insane. Which if I had the money would be great. I would love to see Wuwa in 120 FPS, but no, I do not have that money. I think I'm pretty sure what my thumbnail is gonna be. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be pretty boring with my thumbnail today. I'm kind of out of title too, so I guess I am pretty set up for. Yeah, so I think what I'll do, because that was my alarm. I'll get lunch. I'll set up the stream. I'll hit stream again, and then I'll just take it from there. What is it, 5? Yeah, I usually aim for 5, 6, so this should be a good time. But yeah, give it a try. I do like that they have a free version that you can just try, and if it doesn't work, you don't have to commit to like a month of pay. I think I just instantly went for it. So I don't think I ever really experimented with the free. Just watch too negative. Oh yeah, it's because their new card is a bit, let's say their card, their graphics card side of the company is not really, It shows that their focus is no longer on graphics card and they're not really caring about being the best at it or innovating. They're just trying to keep a status quo. They're trying to put more of their money into AI, into GeForce Now, which in my opinion, GeForce Now is probably a good thing. And there's also, as much as it kind of scares me, there is an argument to be said that computers at this point are too expensive, and so the future is probably going to be cloud gaming. So I think that's the gamble they're making, is that, well, right now people are willing to pay $2,000 for a computer, but they'd probably more prefer to pay $15 a month for 2 years to play any game they want and never have to upgrade their computer. So I think that's the bet they're making. Yeah, the first part for sure. The second part isn't that big of a deal. So they released RTX 5060s and they did not get reviewers the card, plus they demanded the stats to show the frame gen. Yes. That is the biggest red flag that they've had, because they're specifically trying to avoid anyone criticizing them. And they've done this for, I think, 2 different card releases, where they are specifically not letting people touch it until they get to hype it up themselves, and then they're letting people touch it when it's too late. Which, like, I know Linus from Tech Tips has talked about how, like, they literally don't need to do this. Like, they could have all the bad reviews in the world and people are still gonna buy their stuff. Like, they are that ingrained in the ecosystem. The second part, frame gen, that 4x frames but are not real ones, that's fine, because there's a bunch of people who have tested it, and most people will not notice frame gen. And realistically, we're at the point where you cannot get more frames out of a microchip. Like, we have optimized it to we've optimized it so much that at this point you would need frame gen to get any more juice out of it. So there's an argument for if it's if it's how it should be marketed. There's an argument for if that's a problem, but it's, in my opinion, it's not a big deal. I will, if I ever got a frame gen card, I would turn it off personally, because I don't care for it. I don't need frames that are that high. I don't think they should be marketing it as that, but also there's an argument of the average user will see those frames. Because there's no, you can't get more frames out of cards at this point. Like, it's heavily optimized at this point for most companies. So for people who want more frames, it's also, for me, it's just a problem of like, well, why do you want that many frames? I'm satisfied. Like at 120, 144 hertz, like 1080p, maybe even 2.5K, whatever, like it's not really like it's not really that big of a deal. Like it's just, you can't see it past 144 hertz, so I don't see a point of putting it to 240 hertz for every game at 4K. You either go 4K for like art, or you go 1080p with 144 FPS for games. Like I don't really see a point. That being said, it does help with ray tracing and that, so you can do more special effects that like are more taxing. And it does help lower end computers. Because if you frame gen half of the frames, that gives you a lot more resources to put into the actual quality of the frame. Yeah. All the AI gen on the newest cards are because of NVIDIA's main customers are now... not really. So it's... What's it called? It's correlating two different things that are true in isolation, but don't... causation does not equal... or correlation does not equal causation, basically. NVIDIA is focusing on AI a lot, so that is true. They are deprioritizing gamers a lot, that is also true. The AI gen is not really because of a deprioritization, because AI gen does not help AI companies at all. Like, yes, it's a use of AI, but it's a different kind of AI than the AI we're seeing right now. It's a use of the technology that exists, but it's not like pushing that technology, if that makes sense. They are deprioritizing gamers because one of the theories is that because they'll do their, like, they'll try and do as good research and development, get a really good card out, and then they'll basically keep getting slammed by gamers like about pretty much everything, nitpicking it, and they're getting less money from them than they would another company like for AI. So like there's like some arguments there, but I don't think that's why AI Gen is there. I think it's quite literally because even 5 years ago, a lot of these companies were saying we've kind of hit the peak. We are at the point where we cannot exponentially go up anymore. We are leveling out in terms of how much optimization we can do. So at this point, every card is just like, it's why like cards got bigger. It's like you can't go smaller, so they have to go bigger to get more out of it. And at some point, it doesn't fit in the PC case, and we're already at that point. So at this point, they're focusing on frame gen because if you don't want to use it, you can turn it off, and then those gamers are happy. If you do want to use it, you get like 4 times the frames or whatever. And most people will not be able to see it. Your average Joe will not see the difference between AI gen and normal frames. So I'm not too opposed to it existing. Again, I'll myself just be kind of meh on it, but I don't see much of a problem in AI AI gen on the NVIDIA cards. I think unfortunate. I don't think this is tied to the bad AI that like a lot of corporations are going into, but I do think AI for graphics is gonna be going forward, and NVIDIA has done a lot of responsible AI in the past, so like I'm not too opposed to it yet. Like they've done their AI voice noise filter, which remarkably cuts out everything that isn't your voice. So I've used that before. It is insane. I've had like a huge, like a loud fan behind me and it could not hear it. So that's a good use of AI that came before all this AI craze stuff. So if they're going in that direction, I'm not too opposed to them doing frame gen that way. I'm more opposed to it if they're like, let's say, taking assets from games and, you know, making a pool and then now they're using that, like maybe that would be a little less, like maybe a bit more, ugh. But it's more the AI guessing off of the frames that you are already rendering, which makes sense to me. Because we've been doing that for decades. Like we have technology like that in the games. They were not called AI at the time, but we have had that technology for years. I think there's a lot of ethical, but it depends on what it's doing. AI is a very misunderstood subject. If you look 5-10 years before, we have had AI in a lot of things, and it helps a lot. Like, for example, for photo editing, we used AI to use the magic wand tool to like smart select a specific color or a section of the picture. So AI itself is not the problem. The problem is more how these companies are using it at the cost of other people for a profit. So art AI is awful. I hate the use of art AI. On top of that, like, basically art AI is the main one I care about. There's a bunch of other ones, like, on phones right now that I don't particularly care for. I'm not really the biggest fan of the AI filters and like AI touch-ups, even though I know that they've been around for a while. But there's a lot of uses of AI that are good. Like, I mean, technically all NPCs in games have been AI. Or, well, not all, but like a lot of them have technically been AI, quote unquote. Like, we call them AI. And there's a lot of games right now that use AI for NPC behavior. It's just when it's replacing the person or when it's just at the cost of a person, no, not at all. But yeah, there are a lot of good uses of AI. It's been around for decades, like a lot. But I do not like how the corporations are trying to monopolize it and use it in a toxic way that is detrimental to the internet, to people, to jobs, to art. No, I don't like this new AI direction that has been basically co-opted by corporations. Yeah. I think you can turn it off. I think I don't know, I believe in Apple you could, but I don't have an Apple. I know if I recall correctly, Google had a way to turn it off, but I don't remember, so don't quote me on that. But I remember when I first saw it for Pixels, I remember seeing like there was an option. Maybe they removed it. There was an option to turn it off, but there was a AI softener that was in it. I think with phones as well, the thing with the camera is that you can use AI, again, ethically, because it's using the frame you're getting from the image, and it's just touching it up in ways that, like, AI in phone cameras is really useful, because you are basically touching it up in ways that, like, make sense to the picture. So, like, if a company does a lot of research and development with their camera and they say, okay, the weak spot is nighttime shots, let's say, a really obvious example, they can use an AI touch-up to work on the frequencies or whatever that, like, it has trouble with. Maybe it doesn't get the whole color spectrum, so it boosts those channels so that it actually looks normal. And with, like, a big company like that, you can do a lot of cool stuff. I don't necessarily care about the skin softening or, like, the feature softening, because I think that's just stupid. Like, I think it just... You don't want everyone to be an amorphous blob. Like, I don't know. I think a little bit is fine, but I don't like the full-on, like, AI softening. But yeah, I think there's good uses for AI. It's like, it's been around for a while. There's a lot of stuff that has used AI in some sense. But that there's a specific type of AI that is being that corporations are pushing really hard, that is detrimental and honestly unethical, because it's taking artists' work and basically the entire internet for profit. And I'm glad that currently a lot of governments are against it. And I do think there's no way to like really stop AI from existing in like the form that they're trying to push. I don't think there's any way to stop it, but there are ways to tune it and make it used responsibly. I will say that I do need to look into the AI frame gen a bit more, like in terms of like the drama, but from what I remember, from a lot of the creators that got to play around with it, and their like experiments with it, it wasn't like you're getting worse frames for it. You were actually getting similar quality, to the point where someone who is in the industry and has seen frames over and over and over and knows what artifacts to look for, they will notice it. Someone who is not in that industry, it's basically just a small touch up and they won't notice it because the frame's already gone. Do you think you can still identify AI art? So there's a few things with that. One is we technically should not be identifying AI art, because if we are wrong, we are giving the corporations power, because we're saying we can't tell the difference between AI art and an artist art, and we're telling the corporations, hey, just use AI. We can't tell the difference anyways. So there is that caveat I'm gonna put there, moral caveat basically. And I will say at this point there is a lot of art out there that is not AI. And people are way worse at identifying AI art than they think, including myself. I've been caught up like twice, I think, that I can think of off the top of my head, thinking it was AI art, but it was just a really interesting art style. I think we're at the point where badly done AI art, or ones with a very low sample size that they sampled from, it's not going to be easy to tell. So I think at this point, the way we need to go about it is that, hey, we do not want AI art. We will not pay for AI art. We will pay for human art. And we need to push that more, as well as put some kind of a cost on AI art, because thankfully in some places you cannot copyright AI art. If you make AI art, it is basically like you cannot make like a mascot with AI art and say it is yours. You have to have an artist draw it. So thankfully there's that. If you make a video game with AI art, hey, your art is not yours. Anyone can take it and make their own or whatever. Do whatever with it. But yeah, identifying AI art is a bit tricky, because if you're wrong and if you make sweeping statements, not only are you hurting the artists who probably put in decades of work into their art, you are signaling to the corporations that no, we do not understand art, we cannot tell the difference, use AI art, and then you'll still make the same money, basically. Yeah, Steam is also doing it. Steam made like the really good change of like, hey, if you use I didn't know it was completely disallowed. I thought it was if you use AI art you have to state it. But otherwise, like, it's allowed, and it had like some restrictions to the AI art. And then no crypto games. Yeah, I think the difference there between Steam and Epic is just the fact that, hey, Epic is a smaller fragment of the game store. How to put this? Epic is a smaller fragment of the game store pie, let's say. So if Steam has 95%, Epic might have 2%. So the problem is that, like, a store like Epic has to basically give... It can't be picky. It has to take whatever it can for the most part, aside from, like, super hateful or whatever things. So... unfortunately, I don't think I see Epic being able to say no to any games like that until it has more of a slice and it has more trust and all that. I think Epic is doing pretty well in terms of like their development. They still need to develop like their actual platform, so reviews and stuff, but considering they just started recently and Steam has been going for 30 years, they've been doing pretty well. They did well under lawsuit against Apple as well. But I don't think we can see sweeping changes like that on Epic. On Steam, however, they have basically majority of the player base. There are so few gamers that like do like, let's say GOG, or like just like buy the license straight off of like the game from like itch.io or whatever. So Steam is so big that it can say, hey, we have 1 million games. AI games aren't one of them, or crypto games aren't one of them. We do not want that pie. And they will still get enough money to like pop up. They could also just say no, but it is good on them that they said get rid of them. I just can't really give the same liberty to Epic stores, because they don't have that liberty. They maybe have 1 or 2% of the like the gamer base, and they have to use everything they can. I don't think they're necessarily saying yes to crypto or AI games, but they're not saying no because they're not at liberty to, in that sense. If you have 5 customers and you say no to 3 of them, yeah, you showed them, but also you're not gonna grow. Is kind of like the catch-22 here. I do hope that they can at some point. Like, I don't really like it, but as long as it's stated in the game that it's AI art, I'm actually not that I don't have that big of a problem with it. If people are able to hide it, that is another thing. Then I'm a little upset. But yeah, it really just depends on how we go from here. How the community basically thinks about AI. AI art specifically, sorry. AI, the technology, is really cool and has been used in really cool and interesting ways. And there are responsible ways to use it. Like, there's multiple YouTubers that have used AI art with their own samples and gotten some really interesting things from them. So there is, like, it's not like it shouldn't be this horrible thing, but because corporations saw like a gold mine, they monopolized it. Knowing about how like the actual tech works behind it, it makes me sad. How they've kind of messed up the term AI. Damn, I guess I might upload this as well. Why not? Because I have I was gonna upload the door event, but like I could also just upload this. This could be a second upload. Any other questions on AI? I am still probably restarting stream. I'm probably gonna get some water, rest my throat, get like thumbnails and descriptions and lunch, and then I'll start streaming for realsies. Yeah, no, not enough money for stocks at all. I don't have, to be clear, I don't have enough money for much. I would not, to be fair, I would not buy Nvidia stocks. I would not go into the stock market in general. If I did, I would go for a generalized portfolio or something. But I'm not really interested in stocks. It's not something I care for, and honestly, I think it's just it's the same as like betting on horses, but it's got more shiny like brush up to it. So I'm not really interested in stocks. At best, I would put it into a savings fund, but again, I don't have a fund, so I have to keep my budget very, very, very low right now. Yeah, I think Nvidia is not dead in the water, and I think they're doing more good than people give them credit for. that being said, I think this is basically the line where they either fall or rise. Either they, from here on, they're basically at the branching point. Either NVIDIA goes one path and they go consumer focused, or they like change priorities or whatever, or at least even worst case scenario, they go, we won't make the product worse for consumers, but we will focus on other things. That's also fine. Either they go that path, or they completely say, okay, let's just shelve this business, basically. Let's just keep it going as it's going, and whatever happens, good happens. And let's just hard invest into the generative AI. And then that's where I'm like, oh, you're gonna have a bad time in the near future. Currently, I don't have a hard opinion on like NVIDIA being a quote-unquote bad company, but I don't really trust any corporation unless they prove that they're trustworthy. But yeah, NVIDIA has been doing a lot of good in the gaming space for a while. And I don't necessarily... If their focus is more cloud, then I'm okay. If their focus is more AI, generative AI, sorry, I need to be specific, generative art AI, I'm basically out. Yeah, NVIDIA is selling the hardware to build AI, but in a few years the investor will stop giving money to the companies. Yep. And AI chats will have to make money, at which point NVIDIA won't sell GPUs anymore. I think we're too far from that, because NVIDIA does have a diversified, like, income stream, but the thing about NVIDIA is that they do recognize that their graphics card are a lot of their, like, income, and a lot of their, how to put this? A lot of their like market share in terms of like attention and people knowing about them is from their graphics card section. So I don't think they will ever make the graphics cards obsolete unless AMD and Intel are completely blowing them out of the water, and at that point they will be like, well, maybe we just bow out of this industry because we don't want to put enough money to compete there. Similar to how HTC and LG bowed out of phones because Samsung and Apple just had way more money than them. So that's the only way I can see them stopping to sell GPUs. But the whole reason that they're giving the hardware, they're selling the hardware privately, is just because before it was basically just being like, so, like people were buying it in bulk to do all these AI things. And so their actual customers basically never got it. That's why, like, that was when the scalper craze happened. Not scalper craze, you know what I mean. Like, it's there was a big scalping scene where like the card just released and it was just all scalpers. So they have their crypto side and their AI side on one side, and then they have the real cards on the other side, and they're doing some interesting things to make sure that gamers specifically get it. There's a lot of companies trying to, like Nintendo with their Switch, where they're like, hey, if you had a 1 year subscription of, or 1 month I think it is, subscription of Nintendo Online, and you played your Switch in the last year, you are first in line and we will give you a Switch to try and avoid scalpers. And 1 per account, or something like that. Or 1 per household, because I think they also had the household thing. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's also if Intel and AMD are able to surpass them, then that's another option as well. Like, I don't think we're in the time period where we're tied to NVIDIA as much as we were in the past. There was a time where we were. But AMD has come a long way. Their CPUs are basically, like, Their CPUs are beating Intel in a lot of cases, and their GPUs are catching up to NVIDIA in most cases as well. And Intel has apparently been making really good strides. Oh no, not at all. I am not interested in any of the chat AIs. I don't like the chat AIs and the generative AIs for a different reason as well, because the amount of power they take to give you a single input is absurd. Like, we have so much pollution and like power usage from these AIs in a time where, like, hey, climate change is a thing, maybe we should rein it in, and then this is like, no, we should pump it more. Like, I just don't agree with it. So that's why, like, I'm not only am I not interested in it because the AI is wrong so often, and people call it hallucinating, but it's not a like rare instance. It is quite often the AI is wrong, and sounds right. Like, the AI is better at sounding like it knows what it's talking about without actually knowing what it's talking about, which is the worst kind of source to get information from. You don't want your uncle who thinks they know everything about something they have never looked at once telling you how to go about it. You want a professional who's like has been in the field and has a track record to tell you. So I just don't like it. I mean, a lot of the browsers like Brave and Brave Google, and I think there's other ones, have AI in their search. So yeah, I'll look at the AI search and sure, whatever, but I generally do not stop there. I usually go to links. One CEO said he burns millions from people telling ChatGPT thank you or good night. Oh god, yeah. Yeah. That's the part where I don't really like it. Most of the other AIs, like voice AI, picture AI, frame gen is from their own samples over decades of doing being in this industry, as well as your current frame and their predictions into the next frame. So that one isn't using that much power. It's using power on your device at best, and it's like using it for like some pixels. The generative AI is using a ton of power to just spit out nonsense. Like, it's not worth it, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. The way I see it is like, why would I go to AI to give me the wrong answer, which I'll have to correct anyways, instead of just ignoring AI and getting the right answer first? It just wastes so much more time. Yeah, and the thing is, sometimes it hallucinates and it looks like it didn't, which is, I think, the scariest part. It will always say it confidently, and I mean, I don't ask even real people, current or future Wuwa banners. Actually, I think, okay, wait, I think I did have something like that happen, where I looked up a specific character, and then, like, they gave me, like, the articles from 1.0 about, like, characters that never came out or something like that. It was so weird. I think I remember that happening actually at one point. That was funny. But yeah, no, it's not worth it, in my opinion. It is never right to a degree where it would be worth trying. And it has no context ever. Like, yes, it'll give you facts, but it won't actually know the context of what you're asking. Yeah, like it has no, like, it doesn't have context. So, like, again, like, the other problem with that is, like, if you ask stuff for like future Genshin patches, let's say, you might just go into spoilers. Like, it might just go to Twitter, or it might go into like leak articles or whatever, and then just tell you spoilers, and then you're like, oh well, that's great. That's not what I was asking at all. Like, I can't really see a time where, like, no context I can't think of any time I would want to use it. Basically, that's where I'm going. I don't know. Yes, like for some things, like for reference, like you can ask it like, hey, I'm coding this. What was the command again for this? For that, it makes some sense. For that it makes sense. There's also like the thing of like, hey, I'm thinking of a book that I read 15 years ago. These were the characters and these were like this was the general plot. And then it gives you like 5 to 6 sources that it could be. That is basically the only time I've been like, I want AI to exist. Because memory is fickle and you don't have to have a specific name for that memory. You can actually just say, hey, I remember this song that has like this, like these 2 sentences, and it can give you the song name. Those small things I'm more okay with, but not the way they're doing it right now. I just don't use it at all, even if I need it for that reason. But those are basically the only times I can think of where I'm like, you know what? That's a good use. But it giving every information or being applicable for every single scenario and looking at all of the internet, no. Yeah, you got it to tell you the source and it was a deleted Reddit post, but it saved the information for, yep, And it's great that they're scalping a lot of artist works and a lot of just generic, like, not generic, sorry, a lot of general like fanfics and stuff like that. I don't know. There's also like a theory that like as AI makes it more muddy and harder to interact with everything and tell what's true and what's not, it's basically going to cause the collapse of the internet. Because you cannot trust anything on the internet at that point if it goes too far. Oh, this is cute. Sorry, I had to I had to take a picture of this. It will basically get to the point where like you cannot trust anything on the internet, and so you are basically just never checking the internet. Like if a clock is wrong 99% of the time, then you're not gonna check that clock. You're gonna get a new one. So there is a theory that like if AI goes this direction, keeps going this direction, it's not gonna get better. The internet's just gonna get worse, and we will basically just all cumulatively move off the internet in some fashion. I don't know how that would work, but yeah. Which is more why I would rather like in a sense fight against the wrong types of AI, aka generative AI. Like a human will think 3 or 4 times before giving you information, usually, to make sure they're right, and AI will not. Yeah, theory of dead internet, full of bots and no real person. I think it's like the full of bots and no real person is like more of a, I don't think glamorization is the right word, but like it's a exaggerated viewing of it to show the effect of it. But I do think it has some merit where like, again, like Twitter is like, since Mr. E-Tron took over Twitter, it is basically mostly bots and negative post farmers. Like it's a lot of the diversity and like good news and like good posts that were on it are kind of dead now. You basically only get traction if you pay or are negative. And most of the social medias are like that at this point. I haven't heard of that conspiracy theory that on Quora bots are asking weird questions to get material to train LLMs. I'm not gonna really speak on it because I don't know it. I do know there was an experiment done on Reddit recently where it was on r/changed-my-mind, and basically it was r/changed-my-mind, and the AI was instructed to give the most, to try and basically look at the users that were on theirs history and see what they like, dislike, comment on, and then try and change their mind to on a controversial topic or on a topic that they wouldn't align with. And like there was like a bunch of stuff like that, but they did not disclose it to Reddit, and they did not disclose it to the users, and they are in big shit right now. So that's... companies are already doing that, so that's concerning to me. And the scary thing is that it did work on a lot of people. As well as we do have a lot of bots during elections and all that that we have evidence of that are like swaying the narrative a certain way. So yeah, those AI also not really a fan of. And Google search engine now being more about who has the most money is also really bad for that, because a lot of the genuine websites cannot get traction without Google. Like there'll be a small blog and the blog will just be like, hey, we review... the biggest example I can think of that I know of offhand is there's a company that reviews dehumidifiers and air purifiers. I don't remember the name of them. They have been doing amazing in-depth reviews for years, but they can't get any traction because Google buries their result under like basically 2 pages of ads. So the first things you get are Amazon reviews and Amazon links to what Amazon wants you to buy. And they just don't get traction. Like, we're past the days of like where small blogs can like have an impact because our search engines aren't equal. Most of the small sites get buried at this point, which in my opinion sucks, because I think those small blogs were the best part of the internet and a lot of the humanity in the internet. Yeah. I don't know. Hopeful, because I was pretty down on I was pretty pessimistic on AI stuff when it first started, because I was like, oh god, the corporations are just gonna push for it and no one has the power to do anything. But the governments have actually started pushing back, and the people have actually, a large majority of the people have actually started pushing back. So I am more hopeful now than I was when it first started. But I can't lie, I am still a bit concerned about it, but yeah. Yeah, YouTube Discovery is also awful. So, okay. YouTube Discovery is not bad. Discovery as in the algorithm is not necessarily the worst. YouTube Search is god-awful because the problem isn't that like the algorithm is bad. The problem is that they force the algorithm in every spot of the site. Before, what would happen is if you were searching, there would be no algorithm. It would just be pure search. And so you could go through like 10 pages of that search. Now you get 3 videos of that search and then your algorithm. Same with related videos, except this one has a way to cut it out. In related videos, you would go into a rabbit hole, let's say, of like how do you make fudge? I don't know. You go into a video about how to make fudge, and then the related video is all about like different topics on fudge or cooking or baking or something like that. Now it's your algorithm. Thankfully, in related videos, you can still change that because it has like the little tag system and you can go to related. But a lot of the smaller channels are being inconsistently pushed down and pushed up. And without like thumbs up, thumbs down stuff, like it's hard to tell which ones are good, bad, and it's hard to find a lot of videos. Like I was trying to look for, there was a video I was watching and they mentioned their channel name, so I immediately typed it into search. I typed in the title that they said of one of their videos. I could not find it. I searched for 10 minutes. I could not find it because they have just made their YouTube video, so their YouTube channel and their YouTube video, and it has not that many views. they also have a common name, so there's that. But it should not be that hard with the channel name, a video that they have published, to find what I'm looking for. That is like my biggest complaint, is that the algorithm is in too many places for YouTube, even though I think the algorithm itself is pretty well tuned mostly. If you use browser YouTube, it's kind of awful, in my opinion. But if you use app YouTube, it's fine. Like, YouTube's algorithm is one of the few that I'm like, you know what, it gets it right a lot of the time. But since my phone died, it has not, it has been pretty bad. This is a really nice area to talk in. Both the music and the just like the vibes. Like I can just sit in between Jinshi and King Lee. Hee. I really like this. I wish I thought of this when I first started the topic. This is a very cute hockey place. I might use it more often. But yeah. Alright, good luck. I am going to take a break, eat, take medication, and I'll probably start streaming again for realsies in half an hour to 2 hours. Depends on how fast it happens. But have fun with GeForce Now. Thanks for the conversation. Bye bye. That was so cute. Okay. I'm definitely doing this event after. But yeah, bye bye. Oh my god, computer, please.